Tommy with Elevation Every Weekend. Welcome back to the channel. Earlier this year, Terrene Tires gave me a complete lineup of their fat bike tires for long-term testing. And one of the tires I was most interested in trying out was the 26 by 5 inch Johnny 5. And not to give an early spoiler, but I like this tire so much that I bought it off Terrene and kept it myself instead of returning it. I knew the original set of Surly tires on my Surly ice cream truck were nearing their end, and putting a max volume, max traction tire on that bike was very appealing to me, so that's what I did. Before I get into the specifics of the performance of this tire in the snow and in the dirt, let's go over some basic specs. 26 by 5 is the only size this tire is offered in. Terrene says the Johnny 5 is their maximum flotation tire with huge volume and tall paddle lugs for maximum traction in soft conditions. The tire is fully studdable and it can accept 320 studs to really level it up even more, and they also sell it as a fully studded version as well. While the tire is offered only in their light 120 TPI casing, these tires are still plenty tough and durable. It has an aramid folding bead, and the weight comes in at 1,700 grams or 1,800 grams for the studded version. So let's start off talking about the dirt performance of this tire. This is obviously not what these tires are really targeted for, and Terrene certainly has other tires in their lineup that are much better suited for faster rolling or dry conditions. However, if you're like me, you will ride your fat bike in year-round conditions, and summer dirt is something I still ride my ice cream truck on even now. These tires are definitely comfortable due to their volume, and while that really aggressive tread definitely adds some rolling resistance to hard packed surfaces, it does offer amazing traction in really rough or rocky conditions, especially if you air it down a little bit. For hard packed trail riding, cornering does exhibit a little bit of squirm from the tall, large side lugs, but again, that's not really the intended purpose for this tire. So while these tires are not what I would recommend for summer riding, or if your conditions are mostly dry and dusty, they are certainly more than capable and serviceable in these conditions. So now let's talk about the snow performance. Obviously, soft conditions, especially in the snow, is where these tires really shine. Being a max volume 26-inch tire, it has sufficient sidewall and overall height to offer a really long, large contact patch when aired down. And I have done a video diving deep on the topic of air pressure, especially how it impacts your snow performance. I'll link it down below, so definitely check it out if you really want to learn more about that topic. Having had these tires in the most extreme backcountry conditions, the combination of high tire volume, low tire pressure, and the large lugs in the tread pattern made these tires claw through everything I threw at them. Most fat bike tires do pretty well in flatter surfaces or more hard packed conditions, but for me, the most revealing test of a tire's performance is side slope in the backcountry. This is where you have to traverse a section of trail that goes across a slope, and this shifts the load force on the tire directly off the center tread pattern where most tires perform best and onto the side lugs, which also taxes the sidewall under more load as well. Here, these tires truly shined in these conditions. Otherwise, traction in other more typical snow conditions, including hard-packed snow and even some freeze-thaw ice, was outstanding, and the braking performance was spot on as well. The tires were ideal for rough sections where prior foot traffic was frozen over, making the trail really rough, and just dropping the air pressure a little bit soaked all of this up with ease. Since I used my ICT as my max traction, max flotation, extreme condition snow bike, these tires really ended up being the ideal option, especially since the ice cream truck is a 26-inch wheel bike. These tires were really easy to mount, and with a little blast from the air compressor, aired up super easy on the Surly wheels, and there's been absolutely no evidence of leaking or seeping since. They've been holding the air just great. In fact, I can say they hold their air pressure about as well as any fat bike tire I've ever used. I actually did run over a piece of fence wire a few weeks back riding these in the dirt, and it did result in a puncture, but as soon as I realized it and pulled out the wire, they sealed up pretty quick with the stand sealant, and I haven't had any issues with it since, even riding it in the cold and snow while aired down. So to summarize, if you are looking for the ultimate in low pressure, max traction performance, especially in the most challenging conditions, these are definitely the tires for you. And yes, they definitely do way more than some smaller or less aggressive options on the market, even from Terrene, but in my opinion, that's more than a fair trade-off to get the huge volume, comfort, and traction that these tires provide. If you found this video helpful, drop a like down below. It really does help out the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or your own experience you want to add to the conversation, drop that down in the comments down below. And if you want to continue to follow my fat, adventure, and mountain bike videos, subscribe now. It's free for you with the simple click of a button, and it'll ensure you don't miss any of my future videos. More backcountry ride content's on the way soon, so stay tuned. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.